Hello everyone, Daniel Kerr here. Somebody in my last video about recording audio to clips in the Akai force, they asked if it was possible to record or resample the force output using XYFX as well, included into an audio clip. So let's figure out how to do this. Let's go. I'm going to load a new project. Now the question is, can I resample the audio from the force into a clip with XYFX? Let's load up my user template. The answer is yes and no. Let's get some music going first off. Whew. Those things. Let's get some hats. That hi-hat's a little better. Let's get a key group. Let's load. Grab one of my synths from my SnowMetal synth pack. Bells, gongs, and chimes. That's good. There it is. Loud. All my samples are loud. Back to Matrix. Plug in. Initialize. Still pretty loud. Okay, so we got some music here. Now, if we go to XYFX, there is a default beat repeat on the output. Okay? Now, in the matrix, if we add an audio channel, if we go to the mixer in the I/O, you'll see that the audio channel in the input, there is no option for resampling, so that's impossible, but we can go to the looper, okay? In the looper, there is the option for resampling, okay? And if we play, you'll see the audio. Now, my default looper I have set to sync, so it always takes a perfect loop, to 4 bars. You can set it to whatever length you want. I have it set to, when it records, to go to play instead of overdub, so it doesn't continue to record over top of the recording that's already been made. It records one loop and it starts to play. and I have the output gain all the way down. That's very important because once the loop is recorded, I don't want to hear it until I assign it to a pad. Okay, so let's get this thing ready. And as you can see, it's looping, and then it loops, and it's not playing. It's playing, but you can't hear it. Okay. Now, while this is going, I can export this to the only audio track. If you have more than one audio track, you can choose. Now I'm going to put it in clip number 2, and there it is, okay? Okay, none of these are playing, only the loop, okay? Already, that helps. Now, let's clear this out, and let's get this ready. Can I record this with the XYFX? Yes, I can, all right? But it is awkward. Let me show you what I mean. It's ready, it's going. XYFX, okay? Did it record? Yes, and I can prove that by exporting it to clip number 3. Okay, did it work? Yes. Is it an elegant solution? No, because there's no way to arm this record button with a macro knob or anything like that. Okay, you have to be in the looper screen to use the looper. Likewise, you have to be in the XYFX screen to use the XYFX. Now, there's different ways to set up XYFX. You have your outputs, okay? You also can add them to specific tracks, okay? I can choose these tracks, and they have not been added, okay? I'm going to clear these ones that we recorded, so, you know. But another thing is in the macros, you can go to XYFX, and you can set up different columns and things like that. And here you just get, yeah, look, you see you got all these columns. You can set up a different macro effect on each one of the columns, but you can't, likewise, you can't really use the pads to fire off these effects unless you go to the pad grid. In the pad grid, you have 64 pads that you can use to assign effects changes. Okay, so in the matrix, let's go to the mixer, let's go to effects, and on this main room kit, let's add the XYFX in harmonics, XYFX. Okay, that's by default going to be the beat repeat low pass filter. I turn the filter all the way up, just if it's playing, let's see. We can enable it. Okay, the bass, let's add, how about some distortion for the bass? Oh, that's not bass. You know what, I want the bass there, so let's move the synth over. And let's get rid of this distortion on the synth, and let's put the distortion on the bass. Select. Okay. You know what though? We don't want the bass to be distorted until we send it to the distortion. So, synths, mixer. Let's add some modulation. Let's add the ensemble actually, which I really like. And listen. And likewise, let's find a good. I like the bubbles, but we'll turn the rate down. Okay, and I'll turn the mixer all the way down. Okay, so I've got some effects that I can potentially use. And in the macro, in the pad grid, I can set these effects to what I want. Now, over here, if you hit launch and knobs and launch, nope, shift and launch, shift and knobs. Shift and knobs, you get 64 different areas where you can put effects, okay? We're gonna focus on these blue ones here, and these yellow ones here. If we wanted to, we could send those to subgroups, etc., right? The reason why we're focusing down here is because if we hit knobs and launch, we can still see our pad grid down here, but we can also see our clips, okay? So, in this first one here, just like every other macro, we can put that into learn, okay? And then we'll go to the mixer, and I will do enable XYFX on the drums, okay? So that's gonna fire off the beat repeat. Another thing I wanna do is on the one right below it, I'll mess with the axis, and you know what, I'll do that twice, so I can set that to 2 different timings, okay, for the beat repeat. On this guy here, okay, you notice I just chose it, you can't tell, but this one we'll use sending the distortion, okay? And on this guy here, we will use that to send the synths to the ensemble. Now we go back to macros and turn off learn mode. Let's listen. Okay. All right. Now you can see that we can send effects and kind of use them the way many people use the XYFX. Let's go to the looper. And as you can see, I'm in the looper screen. I can still fire off my effects. There's no juggling. I've got my clips handy, okay? Export, clip number 2, and it worked. Okay, let's delete this. So that's a better solution. That pretty much answered the question. That gives you a method for doing what you asked me to show you how to do, or whether that gives you a method for doing what you were wondering is possible. Okay, I've got some other things here. We can let's edit and launch, and let's take a snapshot, okay? Because this is this snapshot for that scene sets everything back to 0. Now let's copy this 3 times, okay? Now we're going to launch this guy here, and we're going to delete. Well, hold on. Let's we're going to take a snapshot there, take a snapshot there. I thought that when you copied scenes that the snapshot was added as well. It's not. Fine. On the second one here, we'll leave the first one, we'll leave the first row unaffected. The second one. Now, most people know, most Force users know that when you pull down that drop-down menu, you can change automation from read to write, and you can perform automation, okay? What some people don't know, some users do not know, is that you can hold down edit and hit record, and it'll give you a box that says to write automation when recording, okay? That can be handy, okay? And you can turn off the metronome if you're performing and you want to do this live, right? But it's handy because you can fire off a row as you can see, it records new automation. You know what? It didn't record. I have trouble recording the drums automation sometimes. The fact is that it doesn't really matter, because most of the time when I'm writing, I use my own drum kits anyway. I have big drum programs. I have a huge hybrid trap kit that I use all the time. You can get that at the Phoenix sample pack. I'll leave that link in the description. Just go grab it. There are so many resources at ghostwrittenclips.com that I've put up for the Akai Force that mind-blowing. But nonetheless, take a new snapshot, and then on this snapshot down here, it snaps everything back to normal. Okay, and we will take a new snapshot of that one, then we'll go back to this one. I know it sounds like it's the same one, it's not. Back to normal. No snapshot. No effects automation. Anyway, you can do some crazy stuff. In fact, you know what else you can do? Is you can set all of these. Well, actually, you got to go to individual clips, and you can set them to legato, so that when you fire off a new row or a new clip, that new clip will pick up where the previous one left off instead of from the beginning of the clip, which is kind of crazy. So if this clip was going to bar number 2, the next one would start at bar number 2. It would still be quantized, but anyway, hope everybody got some value out of this. Yeah, I know I'm all over the place. I love you guys.